Hey, welcome to this episode of I Date Money. I am recording live on Facebook. Today is Saturday, November 9th, 2024, and it has been 61 days since I have had a drink. I started this off as a challenge. No alcohol. It's going to improve my health. I'm really trying to heal my gut, which has been a hot mess. And I started, I'm like, yeah, I can do this for 60 days. No big deal, right? But I started projecting into the future and thinking, what happens after that 60-day period? What will I do? Will I want that drink? So I love red wine. I love Cabernet Sauv and Pinot Noir and all the good red wines. I love, South Australian, South African, all those European wines. I just love the richness and the taste. And I always would believe that I could have one glass, just one glass, and that I wouldn't want any more. But regardless of how many times I would try to stop after one, I never could. I would just keep going, going, going. For those of you who don't know me, I am Lisa Drennon. I'm a wealth activator, a treasurer advisory, and an independent insurance broker. And I've been running this business since January of 2022, after retiring from the Social Security Administration after a 30-year career. And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of self-employed people with this idea that, drinking is for socialization. It's for connecting with clients. You go to networking events, you go to cocktail parties, you have a ball, and everybody is dressed elegantly and holding a glass of wine. So socially is very acceptable. And I did a post on my personal page yesterday, and someone reached out from England in the DMs to me and said, well, I don't really have a problem. I love my red wine too, but, I don't know what it's like in America, but here, you have a glass of wine and you really savor the taste and, all the good things, and you enjoy it and you sip it and you embody it. And I'm like, yeah, but there's some of us who don't do that, where we just drink and yeah, we might be savoring and embodying it and really enjoying it, but we're looking for that escape. We're looking for that relaxation, that way that we can fit in comfortably so we're not socially awkward, right? So we could just be ourselves. When in reality, that's not what alcohol does. It puts a mask on us, and we're not ourselves because we have no control over our thought process, right? Things just blurt out. I have no filter when I'm drinking, and I get really kind of nasty, like, especially if I'm tired or something. And then of course I just pass out. I mean, I've been to parties where I've drinking and I couldn't even stay awake for the food. I was just, my body was just so trashed. And it's just like, why do I get that way? But thinking about it in a business sense for your ROI, I was always like, no, it's not going to affect my business and how I perform because, I'm a functioning alcoholic, and I don't consider myself an alcoholic. I can consider myself a drunk. And, wanting to do this, and every night there was a party going on, there was a get together, there was, oh, you got a birdie on the golf course, let's do a shot. Not realizing the effects of it. And I have gastritis and diverticulosis, and it's like, oh, alcohol, not going to bother that, right? Wrong, 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 wrong. How did I not connect the two? Because we get so stubborn, and I use the scale as one of my measurements to see how well I'm doing with my, goals for my healthy body type that I desire. And the scale didn't budge when I drank. And someone had asked me, hey, when you stopped drinking, did you lose weight? No, the number on the scale has barely changed. But what I did, I don't want to say lose, what I gained from not drinking was better sleep at night, no indigestion, reduced inflammation, and more aware. Like in a social environment, I've been to like maybe 4 or 5 parties since I stopped drinking, where I just brought water, I stayed sober, I drank soda water, what have you. One, I found that there was several people in the room who didn't drink. And two, being sober was way more fun than getting a buzz on, because I was more alert and I could watch people. I love people watching. Who here loves watching people? It's so much fun, right? And I kind of was like uncomfortable when people started getting that buzz on. Oh my goodness, it was so inappropriate. Like the mannerism and the hands and like the touching, it's like, stop it, get away from me. Like, you're drunk. And do you know your smell changes? Like, someone was drinking so much, and like the alcohol just reeked. But when it came to the ROI of my business, not only did I save over that 60-day period $880, I was able to be more productive in my business. I was able to focus instead of waking up in the morning with energy levels of like 1, 2, or 3 and being totally aggravated and agitated and believing that nothing I was doing in my business was working. I woke up every single morning with an energy level of 7, 8, or 9. And even the days that I felt a little bit agitated, I was able to work through it so much quicker because I didn't have that brain fog. I'm a big essential oil girl, and I have an oil to help with brain fog. I haven't even been able to use it. I mean, I was almost out of it, and I was going to order a new bottle. It's like, I don't think I really need it. And when you think about what we're putting into our body and how it's helping us produce what the results that we want, it's so important. And I know all you health coaches out there are, if you're not working with a health coach, you should be, because their expertise in how our body, the microbiomes in our gut and how our body processes different types of foods is so important. I took a course on Mind Valley about the microbiome in my gut, and then I went and got tested and connected with a functional doctor, and I was just like, who knew, about all these different benefits of different foods and how they're going to affect you specifically for you. And this is exactly what happens in our business with our finances. Every time we make a financial move, it affects us, right? If we buy, we're all buying from emotion. When you buy something, when you invest in something, whether it be a service or a product, you're making a decision. And if you're all brain fog because you got an alcohol hangover, you're not going to make the best decision, because the thought process, your subconscious and your conscious aren't completely aligned. And what happens is you impulsively, and this is not for everybody, but this could happen, right? This happened to me. Impulsively make a purchase thinking, oh, this is the exact thing I need to get to the ROI that I desire, to get the results that I want, to make my business get to the next level, to sign that next client. When in actuality, it's not. But because your cognitive abilities have been impaired, you look and you're like, I can't even think straight, and I'm exhausted. How many of you have woken up exhausted, right? And you're like, I don't understand. But maybe it was that binge you went on 2 or 3 days ago, right? And if you'd like, even if you drink 3 or 4 glasses of wine or whatever your drink of choice is every single night in a row, and you're like, well, I didn't get buzzed, I can handle it. But guess what? The inside of your body is crying out and saying, no, I can't handle it. And it's affecting your brain. Now, I haven't done a study about the cognitive abilities and all of that, but I do know from my own personal experience to have that clarity, to be able to look at something and say, you know what, this affected my business because, one, I refused to do certain things like B-roll and talking heads. I couldn't even get the words up because I was so focused on how exhausted I was and how hard it was to even create a conversation that sounded natural, that I just didn't do it. So how does that affect my business? If that's my choice of marketing, guess what? Whatever I did 90 days ago is going to be the results of what I get 90 days later. And if I was too hungover, I was too cranky, I was not feeling good, I had a upset stomach, or I was having, really bad indigestion, or, I was on the toilet or whatever, right? This is all going to affect how I show up in my business, and it's going to lower my ROI. And looking back and reflecting, I mean, we're in November, guys, right? We're at the end of the year. So if you haven't hit your profit margin goal, what have you been doing with your time? Have you been spending too much time drinking like I was? Well, then maybe it's time to make a shift and decide. And one of the things I have to say is I was concerned about my journey past the 60 days, but I made a decision not to drink because it doesn't serve me. And I don't even want to drink the drinks that like give you the buzz without the alcohol, because I don't want to be buzzed. I don't want to be clouded. I don't want to have that brain fog. I don't want to have a buzz. I want to be me. I want to feel who I am every moment of the time. And I want to be able to feel awkward if I meet somebody new, which is really not, maybe not, but our thoughts determine our results. And whatever we're thinking is what's going to happen. So in order to captivate those thoughts, you have to be 100% sober. And if you're not 100% sober, guess what? you're not going to get the ROI that you want. You're not going to make the money that you want because you're going to have this continuous block in your path and you're in control of it. So really, when you choose not to drink, when you choose not to do something, or you choose to do something, that's exactly what it is. It's a choice. And all you have to say is, I'm not doing this, and establish how it benefits you. How does not drinking benefit me? I have energy, clarity, focus. I get to be me, right? I don't have to wear the mask. I don't need to take something to mask who I am. I get to be brave. I get to be authentic. And for those reasons alone, but I'm a wealth person. So financially speaking, oh my goodness, the benefits. $880 in 60 days. Someone told me, whoa, you don't spend a lot of money on alcohol. Yeah. Well, some of my alcohol was gifts. And when you buy a big bottle of vodka, it does last a little bit longer. So, you're not constantly, but I was literally spending $15 to $20 a day on a bottle of wine. And just $880, okay, extra, right? That's huge. What can you do with that? You tell me. Share in the comments below. I'd love to hear your point of view on this. And when you think about the ROI that you want for your business, what is the one thing that you need to do? What's the one decision that you need to make to help you get to where you want to be? And it may be something as simple as stop drinking, right? Go to bed at 9 o'clock. Eat healthier. All you have to do is make that choice, because remember, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's what you do with it.